you see people leaving the mainline denominations. This is what you've done. Are people leaving the Catholic Church in a similar way? Any idea on that?
Their percentage, I don't think the Catholic Church in America is losing numerically, but it is declining as a percentage of the population as more and more Americans religiously unaffiliate, which doesn't mean they're not religious. It doesn't even mean they're not going to church. But according to most surveys, maybe 37% of Americans do not affiliate or associate with any formal religious tradition.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that portends a future of America that's very different than our founding, right? This is the rub with Christians like us. It's like, well, what does that actually mean, right? Where does this actually go? Mark Tooley, over to you. Where what does this mean? Tell us where do we go from here? If that number keeps shrinking of people that go to church, that's good. That's an impact, right?
Well, it obviously makes society overall more secular, but it also changes the face of Christianity and the church in that American Christians are becoming more and more individualized, even if they're going to church. The church means less and less to them. It's less a source of authority. They're primarily gaining most of their information online. They're picking and choosing whom they're listening to. And so, what their pastor says, what their church says, what their denomination says is more and more marginal to American Christians.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that has a big impact on social issues, of course, moral social issues, which we're already seeing. We're already in that current of kind of a breakaway from traditional values, for lack of a better term. Well, let me do this. So you have a background in defense. I didn't know this. I went to your Wikipedia page. I don't know if that's true or not because I don't know if I can believe Wikipedia, but it said you're CIA. Can you talk about what did you do and how'd you get there?
That was my first full time job. I started part time while still a student at Georgetown University and then stayed there for another 7 years full time. So that was the end of the Cold War and the first years after the Cold War. So a very different era. I had thought that would be my career, but I hadn't anticipated that the Cold War would end and there would be nothing to do because the world was largely at peace. So at the same time, starting after college graduation, I became very active in the politics of the United Methodist Church, distressed about its liberal theology and its political activism. So just in my own time, I became a United Methodist activist. It started my own organization to advocate for denominational reform, and then finally that part-time work, voluntary work, became a full-time job when the Institute on Religion and Democracy asked me in 1994 to work for them full-time and to run their United Methodist project.